I got a comment from a 250-pound white belt essentially asking me, does it matter if I'm a big guy in jiu-jitsu? How will my weight affect my progression throughout Brazilian jiu-jitsu? In his comment, he explained that his weight is clearly affecting how he rolls in class. Let's say he's on the larger end of the spectrum for everybody in class. Most human beings are going to be about 115 pounds to about 200 pounds. And if you're 200 pounds plus, you're going to be on the larger side. Now, let's assume he's not completely out of shape, and at least a decent portion of that is muscle, in the sense that he can move around. He's not like obese 255 pounds. He's a regular kind of husky, just generally well-built individual. Clearly, he's going to have an advantage over someone who's 130 pounds, even if they're super athletic. That ability to just go a little bit harder, put a little bit more weight behind your techniques, you're going to get people to do this while you're sparring. And if a tap is what you're measuring your success by in sparring, then yeah, you'll have a little bit more success if that's what you're measuring your success by. Now, in my personal opinion, I think success should be measured by how much you're learning and growing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but let's go with taps. Why? If you've ever played a video game, it's sort of like putting different stats into your video game character's skill pool, such as strength, speed, skill, dexterity, magic, wizard powers. You don't get the wizard powers until you become a black belt, but keep waiting. However, if you are going to be someone who is bigger, when you roll against people who are smaller, you'll get more taps to begin with. However, when you compete against people your own weight, which will happen if you ever decide to compete, there are weight classes. You will learn that that weight advantage doesn't exist anymore because you're the same weight. So you need to have that skill to back up that weight. And I would say that in general, it's not going to be a roadblock. You might have a little bit more success early on than someone who's super small, because they're going to have to go through a bit of a longer learning period before they can get their first tap. If someone is really big, they can get their first tap within a couple days to a couple weeks. Just learning a submission, here's how to apply it, ready, set, go against someone who's a little bit smaller. You can probably kind of muscle force technique-ish, you can get your way to a submission. So when you are having that early success, might hinder you later on because you're kind of relying on that ability to use strength and be heavier than your opponent. However, a good coach should recognize this, and as you're hitting a wall, they should give you techniques and drills to progress you beyond that. Is being a bigger guy going to affect how you learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Absolutely. Is it going to hinder your progress? Kinda, not really. I mean, every single person is going to have their own roadblocks, their struggles, their ups and their downs. In general, people who are larger tend to favor techniques such as kimuras or smashing style passing, like a stack pass, positions like side control or keisakatame, all these things to use your weight to apply pressure. But any move in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu really can work. It's just going to be back to that video game analogy. If you're someone who's naturally really good at magic and you're trying to learn how to use a two-handed sword, well, it's going to take a few more character skill points. But that's not to say you can't be a wizard with a two-handed sword. You're just going to spend the time and level up that two-handed skill. Likewise, if you're someone who's larger and you want to learn how to do really athletic, acrobatic things, practice, and you can do them. Just takes a little bit longer. Hope the video helps. Peace.